Change is a word we all hear frequently, but how long does it really take to change your life? Is it a moment, a day, or perhaps a series of small, deliberate actions over time? It's often said that the hardest part of any journey is the first step, but is that first step truly the one that sets everything in motion, or does the real work lie in what comes after? When we think of change, we often think of grand transformations, a complete overhaul of who we are, what we do, and how we live. We imagine these dramatic shifts happening overnight, as if in the blink of an eye. But life doesn't work that way. Change is a process and it takes time. It's about more than just a change of scenery or routine. It's about shifting your mindset, your perspective, and your habits. It's crucial to understand that the clock doesn't dictate when change happens. The real measure of time and transformation is the commitment to growth. Some changes will happen quickly, like shedding a bad habit or making a decision to do something different. But more often than not, the most profound changes happen slowly. They require patience. They require persistence. Take, for instance, the change in your health. If you decide to get fit, you won't wake up tomorrow with a six-pack or feeling entirely different. The changes come over weeks, months, and even years. Each small step adds up, each workout, each meal choice. It's the cumulative effect of consistent, conscious effort. But even beyond the physical, consider the mental and emotional shifts. Changing your mindset, breaking through self-doubt, or learning to forgive yourself, these aren't things that happen in a moment. These shifts happen when you dedicate yourself to reflecting, to unlearning old patterns, and to committing to your own growth. And the beauty of it is, there's no universal timeline. Some people change in a matter of weeks, while for others, it may take years. The key is to trust the process and embrace the fact that you are evolving every day, even if it's in small, seemingly insignificant ways. Change is like planting a tree. You can't rush it, you can't force it. You can only nurture it with care, attention, and time. And just like that tree, one day you'll look back and realize how much you've grown. Transformation is a process, not an event. It's a journey that unfolds gradually, step by step, and often in ways that aren't immediately obvious. We live in a world that thrives on instant gratification. Whether it's the convenience of fast food or the quick scroll of social media, we're used to seeing results right away. But real change, the kind that truly alters the course of your life, doesn't happen in an instant. It's something that requires time, patience, and most importantly, consistent effort. At the heart of transformation is the understanding that it's not a one-time event. It's not a singular decision that makes everything different, nor is it a dramatic moment where everything shifts into place. Instead, transformation is like a river carving its path through rock. It might seem slow, even imperceptible, but with each small movement, a significant change is happening. Over time, those small shifts accumulate, and before you know it, you're in a completely different place mentally, emotionally, or physically. The reason why so many people struggle with transformation is because they expect quick results. They want to see drastic changes within days or weeks. They may start a new habit, change their routines, or try something new, but when the immediate results don't come, they get discouraged. What they don't realize is that change isn't a destination, it's a journey. It's not about how quickly you can get there, but rather about how committed you are to staying on the path, even when the progress is invisible right away. Transformation also involves moments of failure and setbacks. If we only saw change as a singular event, we'd think of failure as an end. But the truth is, setbacks are a natural part of the process. Each mistake, each misstep is an opportunity to learn, grow, and adjust your approach. If you keep going, if you keep making those incremental improvements, the process will continue, and over time, the results will begin to show. The process of transformation also involves consistency. It's the daily, often mundane actions that add up to create real change. Whether it's taking a few minutes each day to meditate, exercising regularly, or reading a book every night, it's these small actions repeated day after day that begin to shape who you are. It's the sum of those little decisions that lead to lasting transformation. The first step is just the beginning. It's easy to think that once we take that initial step toward change, everything will fall into place. But in reality, the first step is often the most exciting yet the least significant in terms of the actual transformation. The true journey begins only after you've committed to moving forward, past the novelty of beginning something new, and into the harder, more consistent work that follows. When we take the first step, it's often motivated by inspiration, excitement, or even frustration with where we are in life. It's the moment we make a decision to try something different, to break out of our comfort zone, to act on the desire for change. Whether it's deciding to get fit, start a business, improve a relationship, or break a bad habit, this initial decision feels powerful. We might feel a rush of energy, believing that the hardest part is over because we've made the choice to change. But this is where many people falter. They believe the journey ends with that first step. What people often overlook is the reality that true transformation isn't defined by a single action, but by the countless steps that follow. That first step might be the spark that ignites the fire, but it's the continual effort, the discipline, and the perseverance that keeps the fire alive. Imagine you've made the decision to get in shape. The first day at the gym feels great. You might feel empowered, full of promise and motivation. But as the days pass, the excitement starts to wear off. You might miss a workout or feel tempted to go back to old habits. It's here, in those moments of challenge, when the real work begins. The first step was easy. The subsequent steps require commitment, consistency, and resilience. Every journey of transformation is filled with moments where you question whether it's worth continuing. It's in those moments that the true test of change takes place. The first step is the foundation, but it's the ongoing actions, the dedication to seeing it through, that will lead you to lasting change. You might encounter setbacks or days when you feel like giving up, but those are the moments that define the process. And it's those moments that, over time, accumulate into a profound transformation. The first step is necessary, but it's not the defining moment. The defining moments are the ones that come after, the moments when you decide to continue despite the difficulties, when you choose persistence over procrastination, and when you push through the challenges rather than giving in to them. Patience is as essential as action. In a world that constantly rewards speed and instant results, we often forget that lasting change requires both effort and time. We live in an age where everything seems to happen quickly: instant messages, fast food, and rapid advancements in technology. This immediacy breeds impatience, making us believe that if we work hard enough, we should see results immediately. But the reality is, significant transformation doesn't follow a timeline dictated by urgency. It unfolds gradually, and without patience, all the effort you put in can quickly unravel. Action is undoubtedly crucial. It's the catalyst for change, the force that moves you forward. Whether you're trying to build a new skill, improve your health, or change your mindset, action is the first step in any process. But here's the truth: action alone isn't enough. You can push yourself as hard as you want, but without patience, you'll miss the long-term benefits of your efforts. Change isn't always visible on the surface, especially in the beginning. The seed you plant today may not sprout tomorrow. They may take weeks, months, or even years to bear fruit. Patience is the quiet companion that lets the work you do today marinate, allowing it to mature into something meaningful over time. Take, for example, the process of learning a new skill. The first few weeks or even months might feel like you're getting nowhere. Your progress may be slow, and you may even feel frustrated. That's where patience becomes invaluable. Patience gives you the ability to keep going when the results aren't apparent. It teaches you to trust the process, to accept that change happens incrementally, and that growth often requires slow, steady movement rather than instant gratification. Without patience, there's a tendency to rush through the journey, cutting corners or abandoning the path when things get tough. We may overestimate the speed at which we can accomplish something and then grow discouraged when we don't see the rapid progress we expect. But transformation often happens in quiet, unnoticed moments. The small, consistent actions you take every day may seem insignificant, but over time, they build into something substantial. Patience also teaches you resilience. When things aren't going the way you'd hope, when setbacks arise or results are delayed, patience keeps you grounded. It's the ability to stay focused and steady, even when you're uncertain or frustrated. Patience reminds you that what's truly worth achieving requires time to develop fully. In the absence of it, action alone will be like planting seeds in barren soil without the patience to nurture them. They'll never grow into anything of substance. Change happens in layers. It's not an all-at-once dramatic transformation, but rather a gradual unfolding, like the peeling of an onion, where each layer reveals something deeper and more profound. This layered process is often what makes change so elusive and challenging. We expect a single sweeping change, But in reality, transformation occurs through the accumulation of many smaller, often unseen adjustments that add up over time. It's this process that makes lasting change so powerful and enduring. At the surface, change may appear to be a quick, visible shift. You might begin a new workout routine or decide to adopt a healthier diet, and the first few days feel promising. The initial phase of change often brings noticeable results: weight loss, increased energy, or even a boost in confidence. But those early changes are just the surface layers. True transformation goes deeper than the physical or the external. It's about reprogramming your habits, shifting your mindset, and learning to navigate the mental and emotional challenges that come with change. The first layer might be external, what you can see or what others can observe. It could be about adjusting your daily routine, trying a new skill, or making a commitment to improve a particular aspect of your life. But this is just the beginning. Beneath that initial layer, there are deeper, less visible shifts occurring. These might be internal, like the thoughts you think, the self-talk you engage in, or the emotional patterns you begin to recognize and adjust. These are the layers that take time to uncover, and they require effort and introspection. For example, consider someone who is trying to break a bad habit, like smoking. The first layer of change might be the decision to quit and the effort to avoid cigarettes in the early days. This change might be difficult, and the initial progress is encouraging, but it's just the surface. The deeper layers involve understanding why the habit formed in the first place, uncovering the triggers, dealing with stress, or confronting deeper emotional issues. This inner work is often much more complex and subtle, but it is just as essential as the external effort to quit. Without addressing these deeper layers, the change may not last. Similarly, when changing your mindset or emotional state, the first step might involve replacing negative thoughts with more positive ones. But change happens in layers when you begin to truly understand the roots of your negative thinking or the beliefs you hold about yourself. It's when you dig deeper, question your assumptions, and work to unlearn old patterns that the transformation becomes more profound and lasting. This deeper work often takes time, patience, and introspection, as you must confront the parts of yourself that have been formed over years, sometimes decades. The beauty of change happening in layers is that it's not a quick fix, it's a process. Every layer, once uncovered, leads to further growth. And when you start to see change not as an isolated event, but as a continual unfolding of layers, you understand that the true depth of transformation isn't always visible at first. It's a gradual process that takes time, and the results are often more profound than we initially expect. Trust the journey, not the timeline. In a world where we are conditioned to measure progress by how quickly we reach our goals, it's easy to become fixated on timelines. We set deadlines, we create schedules, and we constantly check our progress against the clock. We want to know exactly when we'll see results, when we'll have achieved the transformation we envision. But what if the journey itself, the experiences, the setbacks, the lessons is just as important as the destination? What if trusting the process rather than rushing to the finish line holds the key to real, lasting change? When you embark on a journey of transformation, whether it's personal, professional, or even emotional, it's easy to get caught up in the pressure of time. We often look at others who seem to be further along and compare our own progress to theirs. This can lead to feelings of inadequacy or impatience when we don't reach the same milestones as quickly. But the truth is, each person's journey is unique, and trying to adhere to someone else's timeline will only hinder your progress. The real value lies not in how quickly you get there, but in what you learn along the way. The idea of trusting the journey means understanding that growth is not always linear. It's easy to imagine that when we make the decision to change, we'll simply follow a clear path forward, step by step. But in reality, the road to transformation is often full of twists and turns, ups and downs. Sometimes you'll take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. There will be moments of progress, but there will also be setbacks, challenges, and doubts. It's in those moments, when things seem to slow down or become difficult, that you must trust that every experience is part of the process. When you focus too much on the timeline, you miss the richness of the journey itself. You overlook the small, everyday victories, the small adjustments you make, the ways you grow in understanding, the moments of clarity that arise. Change isn't just about crossing off a list of achievements, it's about becoming a different person in the process. The slow, seemingly insignificant moments are often the ones that bring the most growth. Trusting the journey means embracing all of it, the highs, the lows, the mundane, and the extraordinary because each moment contributes to the transformation. And while timelines can often create pressure, trusting the journey allows you to release that pressure. When you stop focusing on when you'll be done, and instead embrace the process, you create space for the transformation to unfold naturally. Instead of rushing to achieve something, you begin to appreciate the small steps, the learning moments, and the subtle shifts that lead you forward. Change is often more about who you become in the process than what you achieve at the end. By trusting the journey, you give yourself permission to grow, to evolve, and to take your time, knowing that your transformation will happen in its own time, at its own pace. Change is not an event, nor is it something that happens in a single moment. It is a process that unfolds over time, shaped by the layers of our actions, our decisions, and our reflections. Each step we take, no matter how small, adds to the transformation we seek. The first step may mark the beginning, but it's the journey that truly shapes who we become. Along the way, patience plays a crucial role, reminding us that results aren't immediate, and that lasting change takes time. And through it all, we must trust the process, not the timeline. The road to transformation may be long, and it may not always follow a straight path. But if we commit to the journey, embracing both the struggles and the progress, we'll find that the person we become is worth the wait. Change is not something that happens to us. It's something we create, layer by layer, with patience, persistence, and trust in the process.